social justice in the Bible. How does the Bible speaks about social justice? What does it mean in the Old Testament? And also, what does it mean in the New Testament? It's the culmination we will see in Jesus Christ. In the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 24, we read, "Let justice roll down like water, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." From this, it's clear that Old Testament time onwards, people were praying to have a good setup, social setup in this world. Historically, Amos is the first prophet to have a book in his name, and he is known as the prophet of social justice. So Amos became the prophet of the social justice. Historically, his book comes as the name under the prophet of social justice. However, we can hear the cry of justice not only in the book of Amos, but practically in all the books of Bible from Genesis to Revelation. So from the beginning of the book of Genesis till the end of the Bible, that is book of Revelation, the theme of social justice is running throughout. We know the creation story, then the Cain and Abel, how did they behave, then 10 commandments, and throughout the Exodus, even the prophets, the kings also. And all throughout this history, we see how did God stood for the social justice. What does the prophets did for the social justice? Through the pages of the Bible, we can see anguish of the people who were denied justice and the arrogance of those who denied justice, and hear the shouts of the oppressors and the cries of the oppressed. So throughout the Bible, it's very clear, no, how is the anguish of the people who denied the justice. That is especially the people of Israel when they were in slavery around 400 years, and arrogance of who denied justice, and hear the shouts of the oppressors and the cries of the oppressed. God does not want thousands of holocaust and sacrifice of peace offerings. In the Bible, we read, no, He does not want, even in the Psalms and in the prophetic books, it's clearly mentioned, God does not want thousands of holocaust and sacrifice of peace offering. Neither will God be pleased with the blood of the human beings. Then what God expects of them is to do justice to the poor. God always expects justice. We have to do justice to the poor. The entire teachings of the prophets can be summarized in 3 words: justice, mercy, and humility. Jesus was the fulfillment of all the prophecies. So in the book of prophets, these 3 words comes always: justice, mercy, and humility. The message contained in his teachings was basically a call for justice. All the prophets, no, their message is basically a call for justice, an exhortation to deal with others with kindness and humility. When there is no kindness, when there is no humility, automatically social justice will go away. So in order to build up social justice or justice in the society, we need a kindness of heart, we need a humble heart. Social justice is one of the prominent theme in the Bible. In the Bible, the most important theme is God Himself or Jesus Himself, but social justice is also one of the prominent theme in the Bible. God desires justice in the relationship between God and man. In one more word, we can say in relationship between God, man, and the nature. God always desires justice in lacks in this relationship, then harmony will lose, not only among God and the man, but between the nature also. It is a virtue that a person should have to become acceptable to God. We have to be acceptable to God. Justice should be practiced not only in our interrelationship with each other, but also in our relationship with God, with the universe, and with our own selves. That is the best definition, or the way we have to understand. That is with each other, but also in our relationship with God, with the universe, and with our own selves. Sometimes we lack this relationship with ourselves. We think, why I am behaving like this? Why is all this happening to me? I'm not fair enough. Why my color is this? Why my job is like this? Why my wife is like a lot of questions, no? So first of all, we have to accept ourselves. Then will be easy for us to keep a good relationship with God and also with the universe. If this is the right understanding, then it is obvious that the theme social justice central to the Bible. That means the entire Bible, we see that how can we make a good relationship with God? How can we make a good relationship with the universe? How can we make a good relationship with ourselves? In the beginning of the creation, we is no shape when God created or form, but when it reached the human who was created in the image and likeness of God, there arose sin, injustice, and destruction. When God created in the beginning the creation, nothing, no sin, injustice, it was going in harmony. But when after creating the human beings in his own image and likeness, then came sin, injustice, and destruction. The sin of man led to the salvific plan of God. At the end of everything, will be renewed with the advent of the new heaven and new earth, and with the creation will reach completion. It is the pilgrimage from paradise to New Jerusalem. In the book of Revelation, we see its culmination, how these people moved from this paradise to New Jerusalem. We all are moving towards this New Jerusalem. Then first let us see social justice in the Old Testament. For that, first let us say the man is in the image of God. It starts from us, no, man, who created in the image of God. What is social justice? The Romans have given a shortest and a beautiful definition consisting of just two words: give each one what the person deserves. Give each one what the person deserves. We studied this also in our schools or in our secular studies, these things. Give each one what the person deserves. The essence of social justice is therefore giving what is due to the other, giving what other deserves. I know that no need of explanation for this. Giving what is due to other, giving what others deserves. Then here we have to understand what is due to other and what others deserves. A few questions will help uncover our own thoughts and feelings. Who am I? Who am I? First of all, we have to understand who am I? Where do I come from? What is my place in society? What is the goal of my life? If we have clear plan about all these things, it will help us to understand what does it mean social justice, or how can I relate with others, how can I relate with myself, how can I relate with God and universe. Foundation for social justice is to be found in the biblical story of creation and the universe. So in the beginning itself, we can see the idea or the foundation of the social justice. In both the narratives, that's especially the creation of man. One is Genesis 1 to 26, 27. Other one is Genesis chapter 2, 7. In both the narratives, the supremacy of man and his responsibility to the universe are highlighted. We have a great responsibility in this universe that is highlighted in both the narratives of creation of man. The source of man's dignity is without doubt his relationship with God, because we all are created in the image and likeness of God. These two words, the image and likeness, define our relationship with God. We are not like animals, we are not like trees, but we are more than that. But we are not like angels. But we are this like God created after all the creations in His own image and likeness. From these two accounts, we will get some of the insights about the social justice. All the people of the earth are created in the image of God, and so all possess the dignity that God has bestowed on them. Not few people, not Indians, not Americans, not the white people possess the dignity of God. All the people in the world were bestowed with the dignity, possess the dignity of God. Men and women are created equal, even though there are certain differences in the ability and nature. We are we are complementary. Not a man created in the image and likeness of God, or women created in the likeness of God. Both man and women. These two groups belongs to the humanity. Were created equal, and there are some differences in their ability and nature. God made no distinctions among the various people, caste, creed, and social status are man's creations. When God created, God never created caste or creed or social status. These all things are man-made things. In God's plan, all human beings are meant to be brothers and sisters because we have only one God. God created them as social beings so that they would help each other in their mutual needs. So this is our call, no? We are brothers and sisters. So as God is our Father, so we have to help each other in the mutual needs. Since we are social beings, without the help of others, we cannot live in this world. Then another word we have to understand in order to understand social justice: dominate God. When God created human beings, He gave us these two duties. We have to dominate, at the same time, we have to guard the earth. Man was put in charge of the earth and of everything that exists therein. So we are in charge of everything, no? And social justice concerns the prevailing notion about the ownership of the earth, its products and their distribution. Some people possess a lot, others not possessing. Others are very poor. So social justice concerned with the prevailing notion about the ownership of the earth, its products and their distribution. Man is the representative of the invisible God on earth because we are created in the image and likeness of God. As such, his actions should reflect God's mercy and care for all creatures. What are the image and likeness of God? Kindness, mercy, forgiveness, love, care, etc. These are through all these actions, we can reflect the image and likeness of God that God created in us. So, as such, his actions, our actions should reflect God's mercy and care for all the creatures.